I'm live. Hey,
Hello.
hey, Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sweetheart?
Doing well. Welcome
Mm.
all who's tuned in, whether you've seen us live or going to watch the replay. But we're going to talk today about how you can make healthy choices when out of town. You know that you're watching right now, healthy chat with the sisters with Michelle and Renee, and our purpose is to bring you healthy information, things about health, things about beauty, to help you to live your best life, right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a subject that's very important. Number one, we have times that we have emergencies. Many of us have started on our health journey. We don't want to mess up, especially if we're just starting on it. Some of us have recently adopted a plant-based or a vegan-based lifestyle, and we are maybe accustomed to knowing where to go when we're in our hometown, right? You know what's around you. You know the stores that you can go to get just what you need. And you have your stove, you got your pots, you know what you can cook. But what happens when you suddenly have to go out of town? And Michelle's going to take us through that. And then I'm going to take us through what's going to happen, what will happen, or what do you need to do if you're planning a vacation that you're going to be away from home, because we've all had those hiccups, and we're talk about that, how we can avoid the hiccups when we are into our health journey and we do not want to make a problem. So Michelle, what do you do? What happened with you, and how can we learn from your experience?
Let me tell you guys. So I'm speaking to you, Renee, and our audience. So one of the challenges I had is I had to go out of town where I happen to be now, and I gained weight. And I think it was close to 15, 20 pounds. And I got home, I'm like, what in the world? And I didn't look to myself that I was any heavier, but I felt heavier, if that makes sense. So when I had to come out again, I said, you know what? There's not going to be a repeat. I'm not having a repeat. So
Mhm.
I said, Michelle, what do you have to do? So I want to share some tips of what I had to do when doing it right or doing it better, right? So when I had to go out, one of the things I did is I made sure I brought my shakes with me so that no matter what, I know I could always get milk, plant-based milk, right? I had my shakes, make sure I packed it. There you go. And I also made sure, because I was between a home and a hotel, so I had a refrigerator no matter where I was.
Mhm.
And so I had my ice and I brought my frozen fruit and I had some frozen veggies so that I
So
could at
let me
least.
ask you a question. Was that on your way there as well as while you were there? Because
Yes.
you had a long trip too.
Yes. That's a great point. I'll talk about on the way. So on the way, guess what? I had to make sure that wherever we stopped, I ate as healthy as I can. So of course I had my water on the road. That's a no-brainer, right? When we had to stop, I love Waffle House, right? I'm gonna keep that 100. So what I did is when we stopped at, I probably shouldn't say where I stopped to eat, but what I did is when I went, I'm so hot. So when I went to Waffle House, I made sure that I ate the healthiest that I can. So in my case, I love the pecan pancakes. So yes, I had the pecan pancakes. I had them make the eggs. I had eggs. I had them scrambled, and I told them no seasoning whatsoever. So I had that, and then I had my coffee. So that was the healthiest version that I could eat when we stopped for breakfast. Now,
Of
when we
course,
had to.
because you are going away, so you still want to treat yourself. So it's
Right.
like you can go left a little bit.
Right, exactly. So you go left, but you eat the healthiest version that you could eat, right? I had a carb, I had some nuts in it, right? So you need that energy. You have to have carbs you need, right?
Mhm.
So, but I did not put syrup. There's no syrup, right? And then I had my eggs. So that's a healthier version, eating the best way you can, but eating the food that I like, because I love Waffle House. I have to say, I love Waffle House. So when we stopped for dinner, what I did is I made sure that we picked a restaurant along the way where we knew we could get, or I can get, hubby got what he wanted, a salad, a really good, nice, tasty, full salad. And that's what
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
So I had a nice salad. It was filling, it was delicious, it was good. I made sure, as usual, that I only stuck to, because I don't know the ingredients actually in the salad dressing. So I stick to, for
Mhm.
myself, a balsamic vinaigrette, which I probably should have just did lemon, squeezed lemon on
Yeah.
it, but I had a
Or
balsamic vinaigrette. And I really just drizzled just a little bit,
mhm.
not
And
even,
you can go to most restaurants have available oil and vinegar,
right,
which is
exactly.
another option some people could
Option.
use.
Right. So I like both balsamic vinaigrette, and I'm not too heavy of a salad dressing person. I just drizzled a little on, made sure I drank a lot of water. And believe it or not, another thing I do when I'm traveling
Mhm.
is I get out and I do some form of exercise. What I mean by that, I do kicks, I do some squats, I walk fast to the ladies' room, but definitely a lot of kicks and a lot of squats. So I do that every time we get out, whether it's gas, whether it's going to get food or bio break or whatever. So going back to the food, trying to eat healthier when you're out of town, whether planned or unplanned.
Mhm.
That's what I do. I always make sure like I said, the shakes. So when you're in a hotel, you're not always able to have a blender in your room, but usually when there's a kitchen, the hotel that I was at, I was able to get a blender, so I was able to blend. But I
Mhm.
know that's not always an option, but I have a shaker, so at the worst case scenario, I would have my milk, get some milk, right, some almond milk. Usually almost any establishment has almond milk
Mhm.
or oat milk because of people's allergies, right? And I'll take that for my shaker, and I could have a shake. So no matter what, in the mornings, instead of eating that high carb breakfast, I would have my shake.
Right,
And
right.
then what the other thing that I did when I was away is, this was amazing. So I bought frozen vegetables. So
Mhm.
the hotel that I was at is, I was able to buy frozen vegetables. I brought my favorite frozen vegetables. At the hotel, they had meals. They gave you complimentary meals. So I had access to butter. I had a little bit of butter. So I
Mhm.
had a little bit of butter. I took my dash, seasoned it. I had my little plastic bowls, my
Uh-huh.
bowls, and I was able to nuke it. So I ate that when I was not someplace where I can buy groceries and cook.
Good
And that
idea.
was so good. I just felt better. I just felt
Yes.
just not so full and drained, because a lot of times you want to crunch, especially when you're dealing with a stressful situation. So that was something that I did that I've never done before. But being on this health journey and failing the last time I had to go away, that's what I did. So I had different types of vegetables, my favorite vegetables that I like. I took a little bit of butter, a little bit of dash, and it just
Mhm.
gave me some flavor. This place also had some food there. So a lot of times they had some type of seasoning like onion sauteed or whatever. So when they had that on a given day, I just added that to it. Just gave me some extra
Okay.
flavor, right?
Good idea. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I did that. The other thing is I did is, while we were at the house where I'm at, they eat a lot of meat and they have high seasoned foods. Let me tell you, it's like everywhere.
Which tells your blood pressure and your diabetes to be like, I'm coming back. It's
I'm
like, yeah,
coming
no, you're
exactly.
not.
And I don't, for me, even if I have too much salt,
Uh-huh.
it would really take my blood pressure, you guys know, to another level, right? And I
Mhm.
said, I am not going to do
And
it
it
again.
takes days to get it down. Anybody who
Yeah,
has high blood pressure, once you
exactly,
spike it, you gotta like work doubly hard to back it off.
exactly. So I didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to go through having to be in the hospital, out of town. People don't know me and my history and using me as an
Mhm.
experiment. So, what I did is I made sure that when we were home, I went shopping. Even
Mhm.
the foods are a little different here. So I went shopping and I made sure I got the best that I can get, the best vegetables, the best fruit that I could get. and I did more cooking, home cooking, than I
Mm,
did eating out. So sometimes during the week, because I'm still working while I'm remote, what I did is even when I had to DoorDash and I
mhm.
got food, I always went to a place that was similar to home where I knew that if the worst case scenario, I got a good salad, got a nice, healthy
Yeah,
salad. And that's what I did. But the rest of the time, I just cooked, drank a lot of water, I had my shakes, and I just kept it moving because, and I couldn't relax. I couldn't relax and take it easy. And even when sometimes when the family would buy stuff that I know was not good for me, if I was tempted, like today, this evening, he got some, I forget what it was called. But anyway, I know it was no good. I took a taste and I was able to take a taste and leave it alone because
good.
I know that I cannot
Because
eat it alone.
you had your right foods
Mhm.
filling you up the right way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I can have a little bit, yeah, and I can leave it alone. I'm to the point
yeah.
now where I can have a taste and then okay, that's it. Whereas back in the day, I get a bag of potato chips, ain't no couple of chips, Michelle eating the whole bag.
And see,
So
and that's the challenge, because a lot of times when we go away to places that are famous for certain things. I come visit you. How you
mm-hmm,
gonna not have a Philly steak? You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? So, and then how you gonna go to New Orleans and not eat all that Cajun food fixed up with etouffee?
mm-hmm,
You got all kind of stuff. So what do you do? How do you make those changes? So,
right.
when we go away, a lot of times we drive. So taking a cooler, that's tip number one. Take a
Yep.
cooler with you and make
Mm-hmm,
sure you have your staples. For us,
right.
I know I have to make sure I have my shakes with me, and I use a shaker bag because these shakes are so fine that when
Mm-hmm,
you put it in the shaker, I'll put it in the shaker. Sometimes a lot of places, you go to get gas, they're gonna have ice. So you just like, excuse me, can I have a little ice?
mm-hmm,
Right? Add it to your milk or whatever and shake it up. So you have
right.
that. Another thing that you have availability of is make sure you have some fruits and think about your protein sources. Remember, proteins are going to help you to feel more energized and full. So your peanut butter, your
Mm-hmm,
nut butters,
mm-hmm,
right? You can get some hummus, right?
yes.
Those things are easily transportable, and plus you can take and make some of that in advance and put it in that cooler. And even if you have a 12-hour trip,
Mm-hmm,
those things can go good. Besides something like hummus, you put it in a small container. You can take those in your carry on or carry them onto a plane. So,
mm-hmm,
especially when you're confined to an airplane, have your go-to foods, your protein source, your vegetables. Hummus goes excellent even with celery sticks.
yep.
Because you have something that's going to give you some good protein. You can season it with seasonings that is safe for you, or whatever
Mm-hmm,
allergy, whatever you have. Bring some of that stuff.
mm-hmm.
Another tip is,
Not to
let's
cut you
say,
off, Renee. Let me tell you about seasoning. I have to share this. So
okay,
you know I can't have salt, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
use Dash and everything. And Dash has so many different types of, they have the garlic and herb. You can get whatever you want. Let me tell you, do you know here that it is hard to find Dash? Every store doesn't have it. And when I found it at this one store, and
hmm,
it was way in the corner. So you have all these seasonings. It was way in the corner, and they had the little ones.
yeah. See.
And they had the nerve to charge almost $3 for the little dash. I was
because
hoping to
very
find the
because
truth.
that's the thing, because sometimes we end up going to a place that is a food, or a healthy food desert, in a sense.
Yes,
The
exactly.
places are so famous for their heavy meat based meals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sugar laden meals. Those are the things that, they're going to feed people what they want. It's
Exactly.
commerce. Come on, you can't blame them. You know what
Exactly,
I'm saying?
right?
Why they going to sell something they never going to sell? Why they going to stock it?
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
what do you do? Sometimes you driving down the road, and it's not your stop. It's like, yup, there's a Whole Foods, up a farmer's market. There is an app called Happy Cow. Happy,
Mm.
Happy Cow. That
Mm-hmm.
app allows you to find vegan or plant-based meal friendly places in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research before you leave. consider that part of your prepping for your trip. Of
Hmm.
course, does that mean that when you're on vacation, you can't go out and eat and have cake? Girl, eat cake.
Right.
Okay. Or guys, eat cake. The point is, you don't want to wreck all that you built up over a week and a half vacation, right?
Hmm.
So that's the
Exactly.
tip we want to give you. We getting ready to head into heavy seasons. People are going to be going away for the spring break for kids. The
Hmm.
parents are going to go on their own spring break. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, they all gone. I'm deuces. You
Right.
know,
Right.
so
Right.
we're gonna cut and run too. So while we're cutting and running, keep in mind we don't have to put ourselves backwards. We can
Right.
make positive plans using apps, packing our foods, using our coolers, bringing what we can, and shop at where we know. As you're riding down the road, pick you up some stuff. You don't have to eat that airport food. You know, your strength your strength to say no to things that are bad comes from having the right satisfying good food around you. And when you
Hmm.
have that, you can take that taste and let them have the rest, because you're not,
Hmm.
oh, I don't have anything I can eat.
Right. Exactly. It's like, yeah. And that's the thing. You don't have to deprive yourself of feeling that you can't have anything, because deprivation is not going to help you to be successful. It's
Nope.
not. That's not sustainable.
Nope.
Yeah. So that's the key. So we hope this has been, helpful, and something that
Yep.
Renee and I said helps you. Renee, I love the point that you said about Happy Cow. I have heard of that app. I don't know where I've heard it from before,
Yeah.
but I have heard of that. And then those of us, like in my case, if you have to go away and you
Hmm.
don't have much time to plan, I my
Hmm.
go-to is having those shakes. So at least some of the time I could be good. The other time is just
That's
make
right.
the healthiest choice that you can while on your way. And
And get in good with the food service people so they can let you have a refrigerator at the hotel. Just like, can I
exactly.
put this in your refrigerator?
Exactly.
Like, hey girl, hey.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know,
Even when I was at the hospital, when I went down to the cafeteria, those girls were hooking me up. I was like, you know what, I can't have this. I'm
that's
away
right.
from home. I have a pacemaker. I want no problem.
E-
So being
Exactly.
friendly,
Being
help.
friendly go a long way. Like, you know what? I'm sorry, but every time I have that, it makes me so sick. Do you have any of this? Come on.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
schmooze it up. You can schmooze it up for other things. Come on, schmooze it up for your health, girl. You know how to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. So
All right.
listen, guys, thank you for joining us. And this is how you can reach us. You can take a screenshot or whatever. The dog wants to say his part, right?
I know, right?
Yep. So thanks for joining us. This is how you can reach us. And listen, guys, have an amazing rest of your week. The weekend is almost over. And if you're watching this
Yep,
on the
I'm gonna leave
weekend,
this up. Yeah, leave this
yep,
up. Put a minute up.
yep,
Have a
enjoy
great
your day.
time. Enjoyed it. Love you guys.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.